After 20 years of helping gardeners transform lifeless dirt into thriving soil ecosystems, I've seen the same three devastating mistakes destroy more gardens than pests, diseases, and weather combined. The heartbreaking part is that these soil killers masquerade as helpful gardening practices, which means well-intentioned gardeners unknowingly sabotage their own success year after year. Mistake 1: overtilling your soil to death. The biggest soil destroyer hiding in plain sight is excessive cultivation. That satisfying feeling of turning over perfectly fluffy soil actually devastates the intricate fungal networks and soil structure that took years to develop. Every time you till, you're essentially performing surgery on a living ecosystem with a machete instead of a scalpel. Soil organisms create complex highways of mycorrhizal fungi that transport nutrients and water throughout your garden. These delicate networks extend for miles in just 1 cubic foot of healthy soil, but a single aggressive tilling session destroys months of biological development in minutes. The immediate result looks great, but you've just reset your soil's biological clock to zero. The fix requires patience and a fundamental shift in thinking. Replace mechanical cultivation with biological cultivation by adding organic matter to the surface and letting soil organisms do the work. Earthworms, beneficial bacteria and fungi will naturally improve soil structure more effectively than any machine. When you must disturb soil for planting, use a broad fork to gently lift and aerate without destroying the biological networks that make your soil truly alive. Mistake 2 is synthetic fertilizer dependency destroying soil biology. Chemical fertilizers, create the illusion of plant health, while systematically destroying the microbial communities that actually create truly fertile soil. These synthetic nutrients bypass natural soil processes, causing plants to become dependent on artificial feeding, while beneficial soil organisms literally starve to death from lack of organic matter. The salt-based nature of most synthetic fertilizers acidifies soil over time and kills beneficial microbes that would normally make nutrients available naturally. This creates a vicious cycle where plants become increasingly dependent on chemical inputs, while soil biology just keeps on declining. Gardens caught in this cycle require ever-increasing fertilizer applications just to maintain basic plant health. Breaking free from synthetic dependency, it starts with feeding your soil instead of your plants. Replace chemical fertilizers with compost, aged manure, and organic matter that feeds soil organisms. These organisms then make nutrients available to plants in the perfect ratios at exactly the right times. The transition period may take 1 growing season, but the long-term results create self-sustaining soil fertility that just keeps improving year after year. Mistake 3 is compaction from working wet soil. Walking on or working wet soil causes compaction damage that can persist for years, yet, honestly, many gardeners don't realize they're creating this problem. When soil particles squeeze together under pressure, they eliminate the air spaces that roots and beneficial organisms need to thrive. Compacted soil becomes an anaerobic environment where harmful bacteria flourish, while beneficial organisms suffocate. The damage extends far beyond surface compaction. Foot traffic on wet soil creates subsurface hardpans that block root development and water infiltration. Plants growing in compacted soil show stunted growth, yellowing leaves, and increased susceptibility to diseases because their root systems cannot access the nutrients and oxygen they need for optimal health. Prevention is far easier than remediation when dealing with soil compaction. Never work in your garden when soil sticks to your shoes or tools. The simple squeeze test reveals soil readiness. Just grab a handful of soil and squeeze it into a ball, then poke it with your finger. Ready soil crumbles apart, while wet soil holds together and leaves muddy residue on your hands. For existing compaction problems, deep mulching with organic matter and thyme allow natural soil organisms to gradually restore structure. Avoid the temptation to mechanically break up compacted soil, since this often makes the problem worse by creating even denser layers beneath the surface. These 3 mistakes share a common thread. They all disrupt the biological processes that create healthy soil. Recovery requires understanding that soil is a living ecosystem, not an inert growing medium. Every decision should support soil biology rather than work against it. Ready to stop making these soil-killing mistakes and start building the thriving garden ecosystem you deserve? Subscribe to Soil Doctor for more life-changing soil wisdom, and share this guide with fellow gardeners who need to break free from these common but devastating practices.